Welcome everyone. As you can tell, I'm super excited. This is one of those moments in social enterprise history where we can all just get really terrifically out of our skin, jumping for joy. You are at the Queensland Social Enterprise Council for our launch of QSEC Stories. And if you're in the wrong place, gee, you've had a happy accident this morning. I'd like to also pay my respects to the traditional owners. I'm on Kundamukka country today, and it's not just something we say at QSEC. We try and live and breathe and really try and learn from the wisdom and the sharing of Indigenous cultures all across the globe. We understand that their ways and traditional engagements with business and trading has been so incredibly wonderful for us to share the reciprocity and the spirit of living within the resources, and we learn from it every single day. We are here today to launch the QSEC Stories, and I'm so absolutely thrilled to have Rachel Whitworth with us today, who has really been the most incredible powerhouse behind the QSEC Stories. And I'm hoping that Amanda or Kelly might be here from Green Fox, who helped us with the website. I haven't seen them come in yet, but also Josh Maguire, who went out intrepidly and did a huge adventure across Queensland to help us collect a large volume of stories. So we are the Queensland Social Enterprise Council. Leanne Butterworth, woo, our Learning and Development Officers, here today as well. We also have Sue Marshall on the line today. She is our intrepid regional activator, ecosystem development officer, who's traveling around the countryside doing incredible things as well. But let me just introduce Rachel Whitworth from House of Eden and Hello Good World, who has helped us to craft this incredible journey today, as well as the QSEC Stories, which is launching. Rachel, g'day.
We are Natura.
Hi. Nice to see so many faces here today. We're really excited to launch, but also with any activity that we do, I first wanted to acknowledge that I'm on Yugambeh territory, and that I am a Queensland social enterprise. So the reason behind doing active learning lunches is that we don't just want to introduce you to QSEC Stories, but we want to let you know how to tell your story and how you can still be involved. Just because we are launching today, this is an ongoing project, and we want to try and collect the story from every social enterprise member that we have in Queensland. So you're in the right place. If you haven't got involved yet, there's still plenty of opportunities to, and we'll hopefully help you get through a little bit of that journey in this call today. But yeah, let's start with the intro video, Leanne.
We are Natura Pacific, and we are a Queensland social enterprise.
Central Highlands Community Services is a Queensland social enterprise.
Nadu Nursery is a Queensland social enterprise.
Impact Community Services is a Queensland social enterprise.
Oka Sun is a Queensland social enterprise.
We are a social enterprise.
Cherub is a Queensland social enterprise.
We are a Queensland social enterprise.
People Power Services is Queensland social enterprise.
Yumbabimbi is a Queensland social enterprise.
We are a Queensland social enterprise.
Learn, Grow, Become is a Queensland social enterprise.
We are a Queensland social enterprise. Her platform is a Queensland social enterprise.
Substation 33 is a Queensland social enterprise.
The Wandering Teapot is a Queensland social enterprise.
Type 1 Technologies is a Queensland social enterprise.
Urban Angels Community Kitchen is a Queensland social enterprise.
We are.
And it's not just coming soon, it's here.
It is here. So for those of you that don't know who we are, the Queensland Social Enterprise Council is a member-driven organisation empowering impact for social enterprise in Queensland. We exist to connect, support, learn and advocate for social enterprise, and this is just one of the many initiatives that we do to help our community grow. Next slide. We do welcome social enterprise members, but also associate members. For if there's anyone on this call that wants to be involved with the Queensland Social Enterprise Council and haven't so far, you can use the code QSEC_friends to receive your first year for 50% off your membership. This code will pop up at the end of our presentation today as well. So before we launch QSEC Stories, we wanted to really help the social enterprise that we haven't been able to capture on video to teach everyone how to tell your social enterprise story, so then you can also be a part of this amazing initiative that we've got coming up. So why is it important to tell your story? Well, because social enterprise is amazing, really. We know that we are so much better and different to business as usual, but other people don't. And so using the power of storytelling is a really great way of showing people that there is this type of business out there. Being able to connect the impact that we have and the things that we are doing for people and for planet helps us to connect on an emotional or a deeper level with stakeholders, with customers, with people that are just finding out about us for the whole time. And what we're really going to encourage today is for people to explore video. That's because that in this day and age, video is getting far higher reach and really adaptable to many marketing channels. So the traditional type of social media posts and things like that just are being seen by fewer and fewer people, that we really want to try and encourage and inspire you to look at the storytelling through the power of video to make sure that you're maximizing the exposure that you can get. The great thing about it is that you can cut and chop it really easily once a project has been, video has been created, to really expand what you're doing across like multiple platforms.
So Rach, yesterday we did a sneaky preload of all the videos on our website, and we put out that single trailer that everybody's probably seen on Facebook, etc. And you sent me some stats about some very exciting things that were happening on our website and the social media that was, you know, kind of getting swept up in the moment. Can you talk us through a little bit about what you saw?
Yeah, absolutely. So just last night, we noticed that a normal traffic to our website would be quite minimal in the evening. But we found on the QSEC website that we had had an increase of 94 people coming along to the QSEC website, but also to the social stories. We had 60 unique visitors, and they were spending quite a long time on the website. If you look at what a traditional post could get you on something like Instagram or Facebook, we're looking at the reach increasing by at least 10 times because we used a video instead of a post. And we just are going to see more and more of that happening by using the power of video, but also the power of collaboration and everyone working together. Because the more we can work with each other, the more we can share and expand out to new audiences as well.
Yeah, it's so exciting, isn't it? You know, just watching the little numbers creep up as soon as we'd launched it, it was like going up like a little rocket. It was very exciting.
Totally. For those Oh, we've lost the presentation. For those of you that don't have Google Analytics on your website, we can highly encourage people to do that because it's just a really great way to see what's happening. With Google Analytics, you can see what's happening in real time. So I was sitting there like watching people from all around Australia hop on, and I could see that there was engagement, not just in Queensland. We also, like at the one particular point, we saw people in Victoria and New South Wales as well, which is pretty cool. So Leanne's just showing us.
Yeah, I've just brought up the website. So for those of you who don't know, and I know that we are about to go into telling your story, but this is the page that Rachel's talking about. So if we go projects, current projects, QSEC stories, and then when you click on QSEC stories, it comes up with this beautiful page. And this is where all the videos and stuff are. So this is what we're talking about when you can go and have a browse, which is very cool. So I'm going to stop that.
This also can be found just at qsecstories.org.au, so you can go directly.
Yeah, so that's the page that opened up, and we'll look at that one in a bit. So let's go back here.
Yeah, that's a bit later than this. You've got a preview.
Where are we up to? Here we go. So we've done that bit. Here we
go. Because we are different to business as usual, we have to acknowledge that we might be talking to people at different stages of their knowledge about what a social enterprise is. Now, we are normally talking to 3 types of buyer, but we don't always know who the person we're talking to on the other end is. So there can be the skeptic buyers, people that are skeptical about what a social enterprise is or what impact can you really have. And there's also quite a few people that still don't know the difference between a charity and a social enterprise as well. Obviously, we can have lots of different types of structures, whether it have a not-for-profit or for-profit arm. But one thing to think about when you are communicating your story is how could you show or tell that the person on the other end that you are what you say you are and you have had an amazing impact. There's the understanding buyer, so those that know what a social enterprise is that might have a few more questions than those that have just found out about business as usual, not just business as usual. So they might have a little bit more understanding, so you might need to go into a little bit more detail. And then it's often our first advocates for social enterprise. It's those that are the emotional buyers that are buying from the heart and that come back to you time and time again because they're a conscious consumer. Ways to connect with them would be on a more personal level and communicate your why. If you can move to the next slide. So the basics sound simple, but when we're put into a situation when we only have just like a few sentences or up to 60 seconds to be able to talk to people, we can sometimes miss the opportunity to be able to communicate the basics of what we need to do to connect to all 3 of those buyers. So understanding who are you, what does your business do or sell, what products or services you have to offer, and the impact that you've had to date. We've found that they are the 3 quickest and easiest ways to cut through and tell someone about the impact that you have had quickly and efficiently to then show that you're doing this business a bit differently. But it is really important to be prepared with what you're going to say. If you know that the other person that you are going to see, you can adapt to the conversation. So for instance, if you know that the person on the other end is struggling to know the difference between a social enterprise or a charity, you may want to adapt to focus more on statistics or data to show a skeptic the difference in your business compared to another. On the other hand, if it's someone that's never heard of a social enterprise before, there may be a little bit more education that you need to do. And that's where you can probably connect quickest and easiest through a heartfelt communication. But the idea is that if there was an opportunity where you're in the room in front of people that can be potentially your customers, even if it is in a networking scenario, but we obviously want to then take this onto video, it's just to be short and sharp and to the point, and then you can go into further detail a bit later in the segment that you are creating. But also have a think about what you can do to make your story memorable, because we all know that when we're in one of those networking scenarios, when you've been in a room with 50 other fantastic people, what can you do or say to make people remember who you are and what you did? And we've got some tips with that on the next page. So, how to stand out from the crowd. So Simon Sinek is always someone to follow up on. His thing is obviously start with why. So if you're ever unsure of what to do, you can always start the conversation rather than saying that oh, I have a marketing business, for instance. I can say, I use marketing as a tool to create change in the world. And that would immediately bring people back and think, okay, well, how does this actually change? How does this actually make you different? How are you doing this? And starts a conversation. But also there is a process that people say that if you can evoke an emotion, whether it be laughter, sadness, or love, that's more likely to be memorable than just the general like conversational or general video. Obviously, we're consuming so much on digital media, on social media. Imagine if you can evoke an emotion, how that cut through will actually help people remember you more. If you are in the opportunity that you are allowed to talk to people, it's always really good to actually start with a question. So you could say, like, did you realize? And then you like kind of insert your social impact here, or the problem that you're trying to solve, or how much do you know about, again, like jobs focused social enterprise, or whatever it is that you specifically are focused on. But also, if you don't have the opportunity to ask a question, it's really great to inspire a new thought. So being able to say that we saw a gap or a need for your particular social or environmental mission is a really great way for people to inspire a thought of, okay, well, what was that gap? And I'm interested, I want to learn more about this social impact. Oh, I don't know, sorry. And then I think it's always important when we're storytelling is to have a good hard think about what makes you different or unique, because if we want to stand out from the crowd, we need people to see our unique selling point. And that often is, for a social enterprise, your impact. So what we want to do before we do our official QSEC Stories launch is to give you the opportunity to share your stories with each other and get comfortable with a couple of these questions that we want to be seeing from your videos. So we'd love you to meet each other and answer these questions. Who are you? What does your business do and sell? What impact have you had to date? And what makes you unique? Now, the target eventually is to try and get those 4 questions answered in just a few sentences, or about 60 seconds. We understand that today it might need a little bit more time and a little bit of a brainstorm. So we're going to drop you into some breakout rooms so you can get to meet each other in the room and have a go at answering some of these questions. After this, we will then show you QSEC Stories, explain more about why we're doing this, why it is no better time to be a social enterprise in Queensland than right now, and what we want to do to help you harness this opportunity.
Super exciting. So Leanne's going to pop us into breakout rooms and we get to have a little chat, and then we're going to come back and see all the stories. This is so cool. It's so cool.
Awesome.
See you in the rooms, guys.
And how he has actually enabled a family to know that they can still have food on their table under stressful situations for at least the next 4 months. And then also talked about the impact for people who can't actually access some of those things, how they provide a community and an education process to bring them in and help them create the change themselves. So I think he did a really good job with that.
And that's the great thing about social enterprise, is we don't have to say, we've done this. We can say we made this difference for this individual. It doesn't have to be a survey. It doesn't have to be validated. It doesn't have to be data. It's, we know that this individual made this change because of interacting with us. Like, we know this person's happier. We know this person is fed. We know this person, like I had somebody once say, oh, because of a workshop, I gave money to a homeless person. You're like, that's massive. And I don't need to like justify or quantify that. It's what is the real human impact? Because I think sometimes we forget when we're talking about impact and outcomes, that what is the change you made to a real human because you're doing what you do? Tell that story, because that's interesting. Because if you don't know, then that might be somewhere to start. But yeah, it doesn't have to be surveys and data and reports and stuff. It's, what did someone say improved in their life because they had an association with you?
Jane Shakespeare, I'm going to call you out. You had a really lovely, succinct way of demonstrating your value and what your impact was. It's only small, but it's massive. Do you want to share?
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, so I have a little gift shop, and I sell products that are handmade by talented artisans around the world and Australia as well. Okay, and I sell these to raise funds for a charity that I'm the CEO of called the Fig Tree Children. I've only been doing markets at the moment. I've got a website, but I need to be able to draw traffic to it. I've proven the products sell. People love the products. They come to the markets, buy my products. And I donate 50% to the Fig Tree Children, and we're providing opportunities for kids and youth in Sierra Leone. So far I've donated over $5,000, which is enough. It's the equivalent of putting 20 kids through school or university, and it also buys their school materials for the year. So I'm quite proud of that, and I've proven that the gift shop people like the products, and it's just another fundraiser for the Fig Tree Children. So we also do events and other things, but yeah.
And the nice thing is then, if you humanize that and say, well, what does going to school mean to a kid in Sierra Leone? Like, what is the difference to that kid? Does it mean a brighter future? Does it mean like the village that they live in or the town that they live in benefits? But what, and Jane, you know this from our fundraising stuff, but what is the actual benefit that person, your beneficiary, experiences because you exist, because people buy your products? And then people make that connection, go, oh, I'm going to buy stuff anyway. I'm going to buy it from Jane. I'm going to track her down because I know that it has an actual impact on this person, on this real person, and it's humanizing people and saying this is their story. Like, we had a story from a kid named this, and this was the difference we made in his life. And you've probably got heaps of those, but that's what really connects to our heart as well.
Absolutely. And when you're meeting someone for the first time, I think that because we want to try and get that message out there as quickly and efficiently as possible, to use your business as an example, Jane, I would say something along the lines of, we sell handcrafted gifts from around the world to provide education to children in Sierra Leone. So you start with that one sentence that just is kind of who you are, like what you're doing and what your impact is, and then that starts the conversation to then explain, well, why is it important? Why Sierra Leone? And then you can, yeah, as Leanne said, what is the impact of those children having this?
Jane's going to Sierra Leone, and so I would encourage Jane to, you know, to talk to some of the people she's helped, and to have that, you know, that real testimonial of humans on the planet who are actually benefiting from the efforts that you're creating on the other side of the world. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, that's my plan, is to get some impact stories when I'm there. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other, we've got about 3 more minutes before we'll show you more about what's happening with QSEC Stories. So what did people find easy? Anyone willing to raise their hand?
Showing interest in learning from others, because it prompts you to want to ask more questions, and then that brings out even more enthusiasm. So it alleviates that pressure off them. It gets rid of that imposter syndrome, like you're saying too, Rachel.
Yeah, that's right. And so when this is over, what we will do is we'll send a copy of this recording, but we'll also send the key questions that we asked to all of the social enterprise that we were able to video. So we'll give you a bit of a few tools to be able to answer some of those questions, so then you can tell your story too. And we'll give you those prompts as if it was an external person asking, to help you on that journey as well.
Yeah. And the nice thing about this as well, in QSEC Stories, and I know, no, I don't know what happened there.
Speaking of QSEC Stories.
But the nice thing about it is don't let, once you've got this story and once you've been able to tell it and humanize it, don't sort of let video or tech get in your way. And I know Rachel's going to talk about this in a second, but it's about really understanding and humanizing what it is that you're doing. And then when you watch the videos, they are very cool, but we don't need to do anything like that. The power of the story is separate from the tech.
Yeah.
And we do have brilliant resources in the back end as well on QSEC online learning portal,
which we'll tell you about. Yeah.
All right. Are we going?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so why are we promoting stories specifically? So there's never been a better time to be a social enterprise in Queensland, because we have the Social Enterprise World Forum, the world's eyes, and the tourists will hopefully be joining us from around the world in Brisbane. And so, oh my gosh, this has never been the better opportunity to get your story right and get your story told. And this is one of the reasons why we have this QSEC Stories initiative. The other thing is that because there's a lot of talk, we're at a very early stage in advocacy, but Queensland government are putting like more effort into procuring from social enterprise, and they've also been like a proud supporter of QSEC and this initiative. We wouldn't have been able to do this if it wasn't for them. So if you understand that you're at this amazing stage of a really growing movement, that if you don't have your story heard, then you are missing out on opportunities right now. And also because the reason why we exist is that we advocate for our members, and after doing lots of research in lots of different ways that we could have helped our community, this was the thing that we could do to get the most awareness on your social enterprises specifically, rather than QSEC. We are advocating for our members. And so the more access we have to your content, then the more the whole sector can grow. And it's a really, really, really exciting time for social enterprise. Mickey, you had your hand up.
No, I just that was an accidental hand up. Don't worry, but I wanted to put 100% on what you're saying. Actually,
just like
that's what I was
hands
trying
up.
to do. Yeah, I should have just gone like
Hands up.
this, but yeah. No, this is great. I mean, I just love what I'm seeing here, so I'm really excited to see what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, let's take you all to the QSEC Stories trailer so you can have a look, if you haven't seen already, of what we've been up to.
So you want to change the world? What if you can? And it starts right at your fingertips. Every time you choose a social enterprise, you're making a difference. From coffee shops to law firms, technology to landscaping. Each social enterprise exists to help solve a problem. For people, for planet, for our communities. Let's change the world. Explore our stories and discover Queensland Social Enterprise.
We are a Queensland social enterprise.
I am a Queensland social enterprise.
We are a Queensland social enterprise.
We are a Queensland social enterprise.
We are Queensland Social Enterprise.
We are Queensland Social Enterprise. I'm so excited. I just love that trailer. I just love it so much because it captures the real heart of what we're trying to do and the essence of these beautiful social enterprises working in every single corner of Queensland. I'm just so impressed and so excited. Thank you so much, Rachel, and all the social enterprises who've actually contributed so far. It's just going to be mind-blowing. So, you know, Sue and I are in the regions leading up to, you know, June 2023. We're going to be out in the regions playing the QSEC stories wherever we go. We're going to be sharing these stories with people from local government, from stakeholders, big corporations, small little country towns. We're going to be playing these things everywhere. So it's just so exciting for everyone to be able to put their stories on the map and to create this real buzz that's happening in Queensland. And it's going to be shown at the Social Enterprise World Forum. Quick, everyone, run. Do it now.
It really is amazing. And for those of you that haven't been onto the QSEC Stories website, it does have its own URL, which is qsecstories.org.au. It was launched just yesterday. And so feel free to take a look at how others have communicated their story. Now, I think the most important thing to recognize is that we don't just have the videos on there that have we have been able to commission. There are videos on there from the people that have supplied their own, and those that don't have any video or don't feel comfortable in front of a video, there's still opportunities for you. So we do have a interview form that you are able to fill out and send us a few photos so we can still share your story through this. Now, a great example, if you are doing a DIY story, is to check out either mine or Leanne's videos. So I have a social enterprise called Hello Good World, and Leanne is Empathy First. Now, what we did together is we found a location. We asked the Centre for Women Co in Logan if we could go and visit there for the day, and we went through the same process that we did with those that had the videos by the professional videographer, we asked the same questions and then we edited them ourselves so we could still be part of this initiative, because we know how much that this is going to help social enterprise. We didn't want to miss out on it either. So if you're looking to see how you can potentially do the same, it's that we just filmed each other. You can do it on your phone, and if you've got a fellow person in the social enterprise community that you can then repay the favor, you can just film it, answer the same questions, and then it was just a simple like cut, edit to remove any of the bloopers and stuff, because there's always plenty of them too. If you're feeling fancy, you can add some extra little things like video or some overlays on top, but ours are a perfect example of that. Anyone in this room actually could do something similar.
Yeah, I just used iMovie for mine. I didn't, like for other videos I've done music and cutaways, and this one I went, no, the story is strong enough, and I just cut it together. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be music and slow-mo anything. You can if you like, you can have at it, but it doesn't have to be. So like I said before, don't let the text stop you from getting your story out there and telling the real impact that you're having and why you exist and the thing that makes your eyes light up. That's the bit that we really want to hear about.
Absolutely. And so for those that really don't feel comfortable in front of the camera, Leanne showed us earlier, and she will show you just after this presentation. It's if you go to the QSEC website under projects and then QSEC stories, if you scroll to the bottom of that page, there is just a little SurveyMonkey form that you can fill out, and you can answer the same questions again, just type them in and add in a couple of pictures so we can still communicate your story just in a different way, and everyone's story can be implemented onto the website. If you do already have videos, send them through. So marketing@qsec.org.au for any social enterprise members, feel free to send them through, because any stories are better than none. And it's a good job that we've got Mikey in the room, because he actually has created a section on the QSEC Online Learning Centre of how to tell your story. And so I don't know, Mike, if you wanted to come off mute for a moment. I know that you didn't realise that you were probably going to be put on the spot here, but what can people learn from the online section that you've created for QSEC?
This is Mikey Lung from Digital Storytellers.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, first of all, I don't deserve that credit that you just gave me. That's really my teammates, especially Natasha Akib, who I think worked with a lot of the Queensland social enterprises in previous workshops that we've done in the QSEC stories like a couple of years ago. That's probably a precursor to this work. This is like next level you guys have put together, which is fantastic. Inside of that, you'll find our resources. No doubt the story canvas is in there with guides about how to think about your story. I know that you guys have covered lots of that today. And I think there should be a guide around doing that basic production on mobiles and so forth with microphones and other bits and tools that you can use if you want to just take it to the next level. But as Leanne and Rachel have said, it's not about getting all crazy with the production. It's just getting the right content together and you feel comfortable talking about the amazing work that you're doing is the main thing. So once you've done that bit of things, you want to lift the game in production a little bit, you'll probably find more resources there. And then we also have some stuff published in an online course if you're going to go to the full hog of making up your own full story on your own and you want to learn that skill as well. We have an online course for that on the digital storyteller side of things too. There you go.
So with the third point down there, if we're going to send anything to Rachel, we're looking at only a couple of minutes, so not an hour or anything. And don't send through a YouTube link or anything. If you've got the original file, like the MP4, that's what we'll be able to use in order to share your story. So don't send through YouTube links. If you've got the original file, you can put it in a Dropbox or a Google Drive or something like that. But just a couple of minutes. So yeah, you might have done the the storytelling workshop a couple of years ago with digital storytellers. But yeah, that's what we can use. And this is what it looks like on the online learning center. So if you do hang around at 1:30, I'm giving a tour of all the website and the forums and all that sort of stuff. And this course, it says 1 day because it is quite intense, but it talks through how to tell your story. So what is the hook that you can use? What's some of the tech that you can use? How do you really convey your story? Telling video, using video, sorry. So that's in the online learning center, and I'll be able to show you that if you want to, if you're hanging around at 1:30.
Cool. So for those that aren't a social enterprise member of QSEC, how can you still get involved? So if you are a social enterprise but not a member, now is a great time to be a member, just a little plug there. If you want to learn more about social enterprise, then QSEC Stories is the best place to start learning about the different types of businesses that, oh my gosh, everything from coffee shops to a drive-in cinema, Fred, that's on the call.
To hugging a cow.
Hugging a cow. We don't have that story yet, but it's definitely still something that you can do. But the whole reason why we're doing this is that we want people to engage with social enterprise. So use this as an opportunity to talk to our members, to learn about how you can get involved. And because we're all business at the end of the day, and without having customers, then we don't have a business, we can't have our impact. So if you are from external sources, I don't know everyone that's in the room, there are still ways that you can get involved and be a part of this impact. We're great at creating these businesses that do good, but we're nothing without the people that help engage with us.
And you'll notice on the Discover Social Enterprise sort of tag, the reason why we're going with the Discover kind of theme with it all is so that people can locate you in place. So you'll see that you can actually click on the QSEC Stories in a particular region, and it'll come up with the stories in that particular region. So it's really helping people if they want to switch their dollars for good, if they want to start buying, business for good type things, they can have a look and see what's in their area, if it's a walkable distance, or if they can, change the way that they've bought things before and just look at the stuff that's in their area. So we've really tried to get that Discover type feeling to it.
Yeah, and some other ways for everyone to get involved and to continue creating these connections that we've started today is that we do have many more events coming up. As Elise mentioned, we do also have Sue on the call that is doing amazing things across the regions in every single part of Queensland to help represent and advocate for our members too. So we've just got a list of some of those events in some of the regions. We've also got some more active learning lunches coming up. So we've got photographing your products for purpose, and also how to keep your social enterprise cyber safe, which I think is really, really important. We've also created another little GIF. So for
this is so cute. Blow my mind. Blow my mind. This is so cute.
For any of you that are active on Instagram, let's spread the word of we love social enterprise. We have done this. Leanne, I don't know whether you're able to replay it because I think it's come to the end of that video. But basically on any stories, if you go into the stickers and search for @QSOCENT for Queensland Social Enterprise, we can actually find a little "We Love SoCents" little sticker. So then we can just start to spread the word for other people to start to show how much that they love the sector. Hopefully it's not just us using that.
Super cute. Look at it. It's like a little beating heart.
And the nice thing is, like, if you want good photos of your products in order to submit for QSEC Stories, hold off till the 9th because we're doing the photography session, because then you can get some good photos for Instagram or for the Good Giving Guide this year or for QSEC Stories to really, I guess, make your products actually leap off the screen so that people want to buy from you.
And Rachel does a great job with the Instagram page for the market for social enterprises in Queensland. So, you know, there's that opportunity for social enterprises too, if you want to have your products and services actually displayed on Insta. Amazing. She does a great job.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes, there will be a recording sent because we know that we've given you a lot of information in a short space of time. We'll also send through the list of questions that we asked in the videos if you are feeling confident. If not, then please go over to the QSEC website and fill in the form instead. But lovely to see so many faces here today. Thank you, Yoli. I think a few people are going to have to drop off. For those of you that aren't a QSEC member yet, use the code QSEC_friends, as I mentioned at the beginning, for 50% off your first year. It was really awesome to see so many people here today, and we really hope that we've inspired you to get involved with this initiative. The Social Enterprise World Forum is at the end of September, and the world's eyes are going to be on us, so just don't miss this opportunity. Feel free to reach out to us if we can help answer any more questions too.